Glad to have you back now. This is Business Breakfast. Of course, let's head straight to the equities market now. Of course, the market is doing about 0.02% already. Not up to 2 hours. The market opened, or will I say, yes, just about an hour ago that the opening bell was rang. So let's bring in Mr. Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited. He's here with me. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, I mean, let me start by saying that this perhaps it's more like a time that investors should go to party.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I think I like that language. Go to party.
Yes, go converge and go to party. Not just go to sleep now, but party because the market is recording high. I mean, like we've never seen before.
Yeah, actually, when there's parties going on, you don't wait on the party is over before you also find your way out of the party. Because when the party is over at once, going out will become a big problem. A lot of you will now jump back at the door to want to get out of that party. That means for a designing investor in the market, we have seen bull dominance in recent days in the market. For that, don't be carried away with the market gyration or market galloping up this way. All you need to let your profit and your loss, guide. You have your targets, let all this one. Once you have your stop loss, have your entry and exit strategy, it's all going to guide you to know exactly when to exit the market. Fine, the market is always moving ahead, almost again to 51,000 mark, which is good. But investor, I will say it again, to not be careful. For you to see a market that has 16 trading days up, there are bound to be correction. Because if you look at the chart now, you see that this is a sharp uptrend you are seeing, and still market is trading above the T line, or we call it 8 days moving average exponential, which is good. But I will tell you, as far as the results in the market remain strong, that is why design investors are always taking advantage of what we've seen in first quarter, expecting that the same trend will repeat itself in second quarter, especially looking at the what we call the purchasing manager that was released today, shows that the month of April there was still also improved activities in the manufacturing sector, because the purchasing manager moved from 54.1 to almost 55.8. It tells you that there was an improvement despite the high cost associated with production. Still there's improved business activities. For me, it's a good sign for the market. That means now already in Q2 we have seen that April was favorable for businesses. If that happened again in the month of May, we're likely to see a better number compared to what was seen. For that, a design investor should know which of the group of stocks or industry should be now start positioning ahead of their Q2 number. Because once the market also see Q2 number, the same trend we are seeing likely to repeat itself, because it is this number that guarantees that stock market has the strength to protect against what inflation. That is why you can see funds are leaving other investment windows to equity space. As I see, if you look at the money flow index, it's already reading around the 95.58. It tells you that funds are entering the market powerfully at this point. For me, it's a good sign for the market. But as I said earlier, don't be carried with the market galloping. Just make sure that your entry and your strategy guide you to take profit.
But let's look at it. I mean, break it down, narrow down what informed this current, uptrend we're seeing. I mean, this, of course, is very impressive. The market in a day, investors, pocketing about 383 billion naira just in one day.
It just tells you that at the same time too that investors are seeing opportunity, because after looking at the Q1 earnings coming from the 2021 financial year ended, and there was improved payout in 2021 financial year ended, that also informed that already we are seeing an insight to what will happen in 2022. That's why it's a pre-election year. The number that came from Q1 has given investors where are we heading to. For example, now look at stock from MTN. MTN is a company that we've seen that they are improving their what we call their cash flow. Automatically by 8 August they will start using their 5G, and also CBN has granted them license to do payment banking. Also for Airtel. These are what investors are saying. That you can see that yesterday the MTN moved with almost like 13 naira to most. For me, it tells you that people are investing against the future. That's why I say every investment is against the future, not what has happened. For that, they're expecting that these numbers will improve. That's why also when we are investing against the future, when your expectation is not met, you cut your loss to move to the next. That's why every investment, either we are doing fixed income, anything is against the future. Is that future is expected to be brighter? For you have to take position ahead of that future.
Let's look at some of the earnings that just coming into the market, or at least between between yesterday and today, we have quite a number of companies who have released their earnings. Dangote is one of them. Okomo Oil it's one of them as well. You have Fidelity Bank, which profit moderated despite 30% year-on-year earning growth as well. I mean, Dangote Cement, give us a breakdown on some of these, how you think investors are reacting to some of these numbers we're seeing in the market.
No, if we're looking at Dangote Cement, I would say that company, on its own is a leader in the industry. At the same time, one of the best international practice is what they are kind of reflecting here in Nigeria. This is the second company in Nigeria is doing share buyback. And that share buyback tells that they know the future, they want the value of stock to remain. That's why they are doing share buyback, so that they can reduce their share in issue and their earnings will support their price. I'm not surprised that the stock is hitting almost 300 naira. I said it earlier that with that buyback they did in December, it's likely to put the price to what? To 300. Also, don't forget that in their 2020 financial year, they increased their dividend from 16 naira to almost 20 naira. That is a good payout. And their Q1 number is also fantastic. You know that the industry where they are, as far as we're having infrastructure gap in Nigeria, cement is a thing that we need. And also, they're able successfully to increase the price of cement in that industry generally. I say that is also reflecting on the performance of this that sector, the industrial goods. For me, Dangote position, even where it is now, is a good one for those that are thinking long. And also, for you want to play defensive, this is a kind of stock should be in your portfolio so that you help it also to edge your portfolio when you are trading. For me, that's a good result from Dangote Cement. I
mean, apart from, the buyback, the share buyback you talked about that they did, apart from the fact that it impacted on their earnings, what other change do you think it might have or bring into the company fundamentally?
No, with the practice of a buyback, it tells you that, one, their earnings are robust because you can't buy back when you don't have earnings. And then for that, it shows that this company is well run and well managed. And all that I said earlier that because of the sector where they are, the demand for their product is, I know their society will also increase what shape their product price. That alone will also continue to. That's why you see the result that came from WAPCO, came from BUA, and also from Dangote. This time you can see that their numbers are different and very impressive because that industry has successfully increased the product of their product. And also, it doesn't stop them to increase further because even when they increase it, they are passing this cost to the consumers because they need it. Because we need to also make sure that our infrastructure gap is reduced. The government is spending, private sector is spending, trying to make sure that we have houses, we have good rules. On that, there will be demand for cement.
And demand for cement, of course, there is a bit of competition between, Dangote Cement and BUA. The BUA group is also there, but let's move away from that and look at the results for Fidelity Bank first quarter earnings. That's 30% year-on-year earnings growth. So take us through that and what you think this report will impact on the performance of the stock going forward.
Like you just said, the Q1 result for Fidelity for me is a missed number. You saw the top line looking up, and we saw it just a slide in the bottom line. But for me, that result should not just panic any investor in that in that bank. I would say if you look at their 2021 number, that is the best number they have ever released or posted on the exchange from Fidelity Bank. And also they pay the highest dividend of 35 kobo for 2021. And this number starting around with another, despite the marginal decline, we're seeing that their Q1 EPS is around 23 kobo. That means at the end of the year, we're expecting their full year EPS to be above 1.20 kobo or 1.10 kobo, and that is enough also to support the price. For me, the Q1 number should not send panic to the walls. We know what the bank is into, and also this. If you look at other requirement by CBN, their capital adequacy is in order. You see that their deposit to cash ratio is in order, and on that, I tell you that Fidelity is one of the leading banks in the second tier. And for me, it's a good bank to always look at. But Q1 number should not just panic you because it's a slight decline. It's possible to be corrected in their Q2 number.
It's all right. Let's look at the markets yesterday and of course today. What is likely to happen? Some of the stock that posted some impressive gain yesterday. For instance, Guinness, you have Nigerian breweries, you have Fitsin and Konoye as well. Konoye doing about 2.60 kobo at the close of yesterday to close at 28.80 kobo. At the close of yesterday, you have Guinness doing about 10%. That's about 10 naira change, closing around 110 naira yesterday as well. Nigerian breweries as well. So these are some of the fits in the healthcare sector. Of course, since the the pandemic, perhaps we've not seen much of much activities in some of the companies listed on the stock market. And maybe you need to take us through some of the report there that you have concerning some of the stocks.
No, if you look at what you mentioned, the breweries companies, their numbers Q1 was impressive. You can see the market also reacting to that impressive number. That's why I said when a company performs well, market will treat you well. When you do buy, market also treat you the way your number is. For those brewery mentioned that are going is a result of their impressive Q1 number. For Guinness, impressive third quarter. All this one is what is impacting their price. But if we move to the world of fixing. Fixing is in the healthcare sector. Since the pandemic, there's a kind of attention to healthcare sector by the government, and also CBN not looking away from that, giving them access to cheaper loans. And also don't forget that also 2 days ago, the federal government and the Cuba government are trying to they sign agreement to go into vaccine production. That means all those activities will rub up both fixing, GSK, me and Baker, Nimet, and Pharmadeco. For me, seeing the demand for fixing in that direction, we're not surprised. And also don't forget that also they announced that they're likely to be a bonus of 1 for 10 from their on issue shares. If that happens, to be a plus. And also the company performance also have been in uptrend. When the company number is looking up, the price is looking up, volume is looking up. It's an attraction for investors. I see there's improved demand for that stuff. For me, it's a good one for fixing. That should have fixing is becoming a leader in the healthcare sector with the price and also with the performance.
Thanks to perhaps the impact of the change that the COVID-19 brought about. And because some of these companies they actually explore, find a way to shape their operation and perhaps change a bit of how they go about their operation.
Become more aggressive.
Yes,
I agree with you.
I think let's look at some of the top losers for yesterday's. Ikeja Hotel is back again in the red, losing about 140 kobo at the end of the day. You also have livestock there. The shares of livestock down by 0.17%. You also have a UBN, Cornerstone Insurance is also there in the red, losing about 62 kobo at the end of the day. Give us just bits and pieces of these. What you think, is leading to this sentiment or negative sentiment for these stocks, and of course, going forward, do we continue? Why should investors continue to hold their position in some of these companies?
Actually, if you look at the market is in two ways. When you stop pulling back for profit-taking activities, you don't need to panic. But when the stock is declining because of either bad result or negative news, it's a different thing. If you look at those stocks we just mentioned now, I would say most of them are for profit-taking activities. Only for livestock, I said the result was not too good, but still after the result, it appreciated up. Now it's profit-taking that is also pulling that back. For me, any kind of stock in that category now is just profit-taking activities. That should not send panic to a market or investors in those stocks. Rather, take advantage of the pullback to increase your stake in the company. For UBN, which is the Union Bank Nigeria, for me, the price at 6 Naira has been a kind of a strong support level for that price. And also, they released their first quarter, as we just said, also like the way Fidelity recorded a kind of a slide in their bottom line also happened to UBN. But I believe that because of the merger move in that company, for those that are taking advantage of that, with the price finding a strong support level at 6 Naira, I think at this price for me is attractive for people to look the way of that stock.
Now it's just about 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 24 minutes into today's trading. Yes, the market was doing earlier by 0.2%. So what is likely to play out at the end of the day? Yeah,
today being the last trading day of the week after the holiday, I believe that the 2 days rally we have seen a kind of capital appreciation. Fine, I don't expect the market to have that kind of magnitude or significant gain it recorded yesterday or the previous day. Today it might slow down because of profit taking from different sectors. For me, the market will still be in green, but would I expect to have the kind of gain he recorded yesterday today? But I believe that the market has potential to also rally up. But as I always said, don't be carried with the market galloping. Take your profit once you have attained that, because as you are entering, you have a goal, you have an entry exit, you have a entry exit, you have also exit. Yeah, for that. That should also guide you not to just overstay in your position.
Well, I think we should leave it there. Thank you so much, Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited. Thank you for coming on Business Breakfast.